Andre Blake and the Union have made the short trip up north to begin an arduous three-game road swing. It all starts against a bitter rival tonight in Harrison, New Jersey. We'll get you all set for the Union Red Bulls matchup on Union Pre-Kick Live, and it all starts now. Yes, this rivalry game is one of the few you have highlighted and circled on the schedule at the start of the year. Playoff seeding implications are on the line at Red Bull Arena, where it's the start of 3 games in 8 days as the Union go for the season sweep over the New York Red Bulls. We have taken our show on the road here at Red Bull Arena. And with that, we welcome you to Union Pre-Kick Live with former U.S. Women's National Team player Lori Lindsay. I'm Dave Leno. Marissa Pilla has all the interviews covered and will join us shortly. But the big news, Lori, right off the top is because Toronto drew with LAFC yesterday. The Union have clinched at least a top 4 seed in the playoffs. They will host a home playoff game for the first time since 2011. Still a lot to play for.
Yeah, Dave, absolutely a lot to play for. But at the same time, clinching that home field advantage and that playoff spot does alleviate some pressure.
They're coming off a victory on Wednesday. They made some rotation of their starting lineup, but they were victorious on short rest at Portland. Now let's go back to that thrilling victory that the Union had against the New York Red Bulls on June 8th, which I think we can all agree will be known as the El Seno game. The Red Bulls were leading 2-0 going to the locker room at halftime. Then El Seno and Montero delivered in the second half.
Well, it very much was the El Seno game, but at the same time, what this proves to me is that how important the subs off the bench are for this team, how deep this squad is.
Our Marissa Pilla is also with us as well, all broadcast long, and she sets the scene to tell us more about what the fans are expecting for this rivalry matchup.
Thanks, Dave. It's been 4 years, and he said that all starts tonight by matching Red Bull's intensity as soon as the whistle blows. Dave?
Thank you very much, Marissa. And Lori, there's really an enormous amount of pressure on both of these teams. Let's start with the Union here. Only out of the last 4 road games, just 1 win. We've seen some hiccups in the past against Chicago, Montreal, RSL. You can go all the way back to New York City FC. So you have to apply what they do at home here on the road tonight in a hostile environment.
Yeah, and really what they do is bring the intensity. It's exactly what Coach Jim Curtin talked about, which is matching that. They know that they're going to press, weather the storm early on, and then look to see if they can counterattack, play long diagonal balls, get in behind this Red Bulls defense, and then play their game from there.
Yeah, conversely, the Red Bulls have not won a game in their last 2 at home. Their last win was in early August, so they're looking to right the ship here at Red Bull Arena. Let's take a look at the Union starting 11. For Jim Curtin, it will be the exact same lineup and formation as last week's LAFC matchup with Andre Blake at goal. You see what Jabiro can provide out of the number 10. Aronson almost had a goal last game. He scored in 2 of the last 3. We know the speed that Fafa Pico provides down the right-hand flank. And how about Kacper Shabilko, who scored in 3 straight? Moreover, Shabilko has 10 goals in the last 13 games for the club.
And Dave, when you're looking at managing and weather the storm early on by the Red Bulls press, it's going to be Bedoya and Manunian in there, making sure that they keep tight, make sure they anchor that defense. But then when they win it, are they looking for Pico? Are they looking for Aronson, even Shabilko up top directly?
It's been a big talking point really for the past couple of years, whether Jim Curtin goes with a 4-2-3-1 or a different formation. We've seen him go with a 4-4-2, which you could see more press cues, especially with the 2 forwards up top. But for Kacper Shabilko, he does a lot of running with that lone striker up ahead. But I think when you go to the 4-2-3-1, Lori, that they like to play to the wings more and that speed with Aronson and Fafa Pico, in particular, those guys that not only can run in the flanks, but also come right down centrally against Long and Parker tonight.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to be, though. It's long diagonal balls into Aronson, into Pico, making sure they're active. But that's when Shabilko comes in, right? What's his movement look like up top? What's the service look like? So those players are going to be the outlets tonight to break that press early on, but then there's going to have to be quality on the end of it.
How about the captains play Alejandro Bedoya, the amount of running? Also, when he gets high up the right-hand flank and creates an overlaps, not only with Ray Gaddis, but also Fafa Pico, he's very integral, not only box to box, but also trying to get a minimum of 3 or 4 guys inside the area.
Yeah, and especially, you mentioned it, starting with Bedoya, their positioning there in the midfield.
He and Harris have been such a tandem, really, for the past couple of years for the Philadelphia Union. Also, Mark McKenzie will make his 4th consecutive start for the Union as well. And he and Jack Elliott have been a terrific center back pairing. I thought that they had a terrific game against LAFC, given that pressure by Diamande and Rossi last week.
Yeah, and then again, when you have players coming at you fast and furious, you're playing away from home.
Coming up, we'll hear from Harris as Union Pre-Kick Live rolls off from Harrison. This is a team that looks to clog the midfield in the Red Bulls, and they all press together. They combine beautifully. So that's something to key in on. But I think the Union can take advantage with the press in the midfield tonight against Davis and Caceres. I know you're focusing on the quality in the transition game for the Union.
Yeah, and it plays off of what you just said in terms of managing that press. Manage the press and then quality in transition. And the Union said it, right? They should be playing with play with freedom. They should be able to play the ball quickly. Once they do that, then can they spring the ball? Long diagonal balls that we have talked about already is going to break that press and then gets quality of service into Shabilko.
So since the Union played the Red Bulls are 6-7-2 since that 3-2 loss in Chester. It's a team that's flirted with the 4, 5, 6 seed. Currently they come to the 6th seed, and here's Chris Arbus' starting 11 tonight. Robles and Goal has 7 shutouts this year. Duncan and Lawrence will get high up the flanks. Parker and Long for one of the best center back tandems in the league. Caceres is a 19-year-old from Venezuela. Has 3 goals this year. It will be his 3rd straight start. Davis will go box to box. Royer's the team leading scorer. Shatkovsky comes in at the number 10. Kaku is on the bench. Sims is on loan from Southampton. Also has played for Reading. And they start a Wisconsin product and Tom Barlow up top as the number 9.
Well, you mentioned about Parker and Long, their experience, so they're going to anchor that back line. That's who Shabilko is going to try to get around, move them out of position, but then it's going to be Royer and Barlow up top. They're going to ignite that pressure early on, and so can we bypass in, break that press?
We're back with the prime point assist for the month of August. It came on the last day, the 30th, when Harrisman Jr. found Brendan Aronson, who then beat Brad Guzan to open up the scoring against Atlanta. This season, $100 will be donated by Prime Point for every Union assist, up to $3,500 to Hope Works in Camden. Welcome back here on the field at Red Bull Arena with Lori Lindsay. I'm Dave Leto. Now time to take a look at this road to the playoffs and the remaining schedules for the Union, New York City FC, and Atlanta. It is a tight race between these 3 teams.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what makes it so exciting. And, I mean, Tommy said it, right? This is the position you want to be in as a player. The intensity of these last games sets you up for success in the playoffs.
Yeah, New York City FC is unbeaten in the last 7. They're at FC Dallas tonight and has 3 of the last 4 on the road. Then you look at Atlanta, who won yesterday against San Jose, and they currently have the advantage over the Union. 2 of their last 3 are on the road, ending with New England, who currently occupies the 7th spot. 6 teams in the East have already clinched a playoff berth. But you can make the case, Lori, that 3 of the 4 on the road for the Union to end this regular season. Out of those 2 teams, I think the Union have arguably the toughest stretch to culminate the season.
They do, but at the same time, they have been good against these Eastern Conference teams that they have. We still have Red Bulls tonight, NYCFC the last game. And again, it was really that May 11th game against Toronto that ignited this. So keep that ball rolling, making sure they stay consistent, utilizing the players. I'm sure we're going to see a little bit of rest for some players against San Jose midweek. But at the same time, keep that intensity high, control the momentum that you have going into it. That's the key about these last 4 games, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, and if you caught the Union in the midway point of this year, they've been in 1st or 2nd since late April to early May. And you're right, that huge Toronto victory, Kai Wagner so good at that matchup against Toronto FC. That was huge to turn around this season, as you mentioned, but they've really taken care of business. They outscored DC United 8-2. The one hiccup was to New York City FC. They're looking for revenge on October 6th.
100%. And this is where it doesn't matter who you're playing. You just have to continue to fight, continue to improve as a team. That's what we're seeing. And Mandunian said it in that interview, which is making sure that people know that on the road, this Philadelphia Union team is quality as well, not just at home.
Showcase a vulnerability out of the back for the Red Bulls, because the Red Bulls have played with so many different combinations out of the back this year. We know that Long and Parker can provide for this team, but the Union can take advantage if they stretch that back line. Do you expect the Union to press all that much like we may see the Red Bulls as the Union are on the road? Different style than they play at home.
I don't. I think they're going to sit back a bit, not completely back, but they're going to sit back in a tight block, making sure they absorb that pressure and then look to spring, because they have been their best when they do counterattack and open up that space in behind defenses. So if they can absorb that pressure and then go quickly, move the ball quickly, and then go long ball and have the movement up top that's quality, I think we'll see a good result tonight. All
right, before you get sprayed here by the water here on the pitch at Red Bull Arena, let's check in with the team ahead of this match against the Red Bulls and what's at stake on the magnitude of this game.
Yeah, Red Bull, a very good team. You know, they press well.
Everybody at this point of the year is hungry to take points, so it's going to be a real challenge for us and a difficult one.
And welcome Welcome back to the field here at Red Bull Arena with Lori Lindsay. I'm Dave Leno. It's now time for Watching You, two players that we're focusing in on for tonight's match. I'm going with Kai Wagner, Lori. He has 8 assists this year, which leads all MLS defenders. I'm looking for those 2v1 situations he can create and also overlap on the left-hand side with Brendan Aronson. Try to catch Duncan far up the field and also the 19-year-old Caceres in this one. I think if he can get a minimum of 4 crosses each half in this one, I think Kai Wagner can help this team to victory.
And playing off of that, I'm going with Kasper Shabilko. I think he's going to be imperative into the success. And when we talk about the quality in transition, it's going to be his movement. Yes, we've talked about diagonal long balls, but can they spring him early and behind? But also, if we do play out wide, what's his movement look like? Can he pull Long? Can he pull Parker out of that area in the center back position and create some space for himself?
And I expect a big game out of Jamir Montero back at the number 10 as well. The ability to run right at the center backs and stretch that back line of Long and Parker. And they can run off of that back shoulder of those two and play those balls out wide to Fafa and also Brendan Aronson. This should be a big game. And also combining with Alejandro Bedoya, we can't forget him coming up high on that right-hand side and down the middle.
Well, it's going to be about fluidity, and you talk about Montero in that number 10 position, but can he get even beyond Shabilko? Can Shabilko come back? And that's going to help pull out those 2 experienced center backs for Red Bulls.
It's a big one tonight because the Union sit 2 points behind Atlanta. So with the win, they can leapfrog Atlanta United back in second place in this one. What are you expecting out of the gate from this team?
I expect absorbing the pressure, then looking to go long quickly, finishing their chances with the limited amount they might have.
For Lori Lindsay, Marissa Pill, and our entire crew at Red Bull Arena, this is Dave Leto saying so long, JP and Tolly. Open up the broadcast after this.